Hey Forex Militia, this is Parsival, and I'm basically going to go over the Forex Militia weekly outlook just to get a look-see at which direction some of the stock market, commodities, and of course Forex directions are actually moving in on the weekly time charts. So, getting right into it, this is the dollar, and the dollar basically is looking very, very bullish. It just came through my super trend, which basically says it's most likely going to move up into targets. I have one marked off here at the 150, 95.42. So I'm looking for this to go bullish. So basically, if the dollar goes bullish, then a lot of the other currencies, the euro, the pound, the yen, all of those are most likely going to be bearish. Okay, S&P 500, as it looks like right now, because this is a new bar, it looks like the S&P 500 is going to be bullish. But it's been bullish basically all the way since April of 2020. So it's just continuing the trend. There was a small pullback. You see this big wick, a big rejection candle, from the downside at least, going back up. All right, so that's the S&P 500. I don't have a target for that right now. As far as you can see this here, I did have some targets of it going down. It actually reached this target right here, but it didn't reach the second target. So that's one for me. All right, this is gold, and gold looks like it's going to be trending down. Let me open this up a little bit. And that means that I have two targets here. I have one at 1731 and another one at 1696. That pretty much says that it's going to be bearish, and it's also, the other part of this is it is in consolidation. So what that would look like is it's most likely going to stay within these two ranges. Okay, I'll use this one. Most likely it's going to stay within this range, here and here. So let me just draw this out real quick. Let's just pull that down. And what I do is when I see a range, I look for it to basically stay within here, between the 61.8 and the 38.2. So it will most likely do its best to probably get down to here, this 1695, and then pull back up into the 50, or just in this range here, basically. I'll just mark that off real quick, right in here. So that's what I basically look to trade into. All right, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is bearish. As far as my super trend basically is saying that it's basically going to pull up. I mean, not pull up. It basically pulled up into my super trend, but the whole entire trend, the trend of it is down. It broke through. It's looking bearish, so most likely it's going to move downward. All right. You can see there's some momentum on the stochastic to go short. So I would basically look for it to basically fall into the oversold area over here. Oil is long. I took a profit on oil. I'm trading on demo, as you can see, but this right here, this goes up a bit further. I have another target up there. Let me see if, there we go. The next target for oil would be $80, $80.05, and that is bullish. Okay, even though I have to say, I know I always talk about my super trend, but this, just looking at the way how this is moving, the trend is bullish. So I took the trade, and I actually probably looked at it on the daily time frame to basically take that trade. I'm not going to say that my super trend is wrong, but right with this trend right now, it is wrong. So there's a little discretion going on there. Okay, so here we go. The next chart, um, the loonie. On the loonie, we basically have this is going long. It's been in a very bearish position within the last couple of months. Yeah, actually for the last year, it's been very bearish. So right now, it's looking to go long. And let me see what I can find on this one. Most likely it's going to move up into, let's see, it crossed over here. So if, by the way how this is looking, it retraced to 61.8 right here. All right, so this is that golden zone, but I believe it's going to go just a little bit further to the 78.6 and bounce off of this 100-day moving average somewhere in this area. There's a method that I use to basically get my targets. I will have to go into that in another video. Okay, the euro is short, and as you can see on here, we've got levels. So what I believe is that this is going to go short up into 114. All right, it's going to basically hit this, the 100 moving average, and it's going to coil a little bit, but eventually it will find its way down to 114. It's going to be bearish, and that is in line with what the dollar index is basically doing. So the dollar is most likely going up. Same thing here on the pound. The pound is basically going to be going down, and most likely it's going to be bearish into this line right here, or this area right here. This is more like an area that I marked off, but definitely going to hit the 100 moving average. So that's bearish. The GEPI is going to be bearish also. You've got this, you've got the super trend, you've got the SSL, and you've got the Kijun Sen. It's all below that. The thing that is a little bit iffy, this rejection candle is seriously telling a tale, right? That it's basically going to rally from here. Now, looking at my indicators down here, it very much looks like it's bearish, right? But it could coil a little bit because this has gone into an area of trendlessness, which signals some range. So that's the GEPI. The dollar yen is going long. You've got some bullish momentum. Interestingly enough, this right here is saying that it's trendless, right? But I'm going to take the overwhelming confirmation that this is basically going to be long. I have two positions on. I have one targeted at 111.34 and 112.40 that I took on the daily chart. I go over the weekly chart because it's the higher time frame to the daily chart, which is what I normally trade on. All right. So on the dollar yen, bullish. On the euro pound, we've got divergence here. Let me take this off. So, well, just take a look at this. All right. From here, this divergence, you got a higher high closed candle off of divergence going up. And this, of course, is a bearish. It's bearish, right, with divergence, with bullish divergence. So I would take this one up into here. This monthly resistance line, this monthly resistance line, and that is at 8,700. So I would take this up from here, which is 85.73, all the way up into 87. So there's some bullishness going on there. On the Euro Kiwi, we basically just bounced off of this line here at 103, 1.03, and that is going bullish. And I believe it will most likely take this all the way back. It'll retest this opening point back here at the, now that's the 100, that's the 50, and that's right here at this resistance line, which is the weekly resistance. So up in this area right here, it's most likely going to either coil or reverse right up in that area right there. Okay, that's like 106.23 to 106.50. Okay, and pretty much that's about it. That's all I want to go over as far as the weekly outlook on just a couple of currencies: gold, oil, Bitcoin. Okay, I'm also going to go over a trade of the week for using using TradeMiner next. Stay tuned for that. Okay, so here is TradeMiner Forex. We basically have the pound CAD, or the pound loonie, basically going, what was it? Bearish, British pound, CAD dollar, from September 29th, that's the middle of this week, to October 8th. It's a 12-year sample, and it's basically running just a couple of days, calendar days. Let's see, what was it? 10 days. This one is a little bit lower. Well, it's if you look at it, mostly in Forex, there are lower win rates, because Forex, of course, is more, what's the word, unstable, it fluctuates, a lot of noise in Forex, so you're going to get a little bit lower win rates in comparison to stocks or futures. So that's that, and I will put that in the description. And then on stocks for this week, Fluidigm Corp, we basically have, it's bearish, all right, and 9 years, and on this one the win rate has been 100% over the last 9 years. So one little caveat is, because this had a zero, okay, zero, they didn't really count that as a loss, or actually, I am calling that wrong. This actually had a $750, but there was no drawdown on this one, so that's actually pretty decent. The largest drawdown on this has been about $182. And interesting enough, let me go back to the largest drawdown on this is $223. That's on like a $100 investment, a very small investment of about 1,000 units or something to that effect. So you could lose that much. All right. So, but the biggest profit, and the average profit, is $148. The average profit on this one is $659. So this one actually really looks like a much better trade. You get $659 and you only risk $182. All right. So let me just go over here and actually take a look at what I'm basically talking about. All right. So over here on the technicals, what I would do is on Wednesday I will go ahead and take the trade, because right now it's looking like, with my setup, that this is basically bearish. It just broke through the super trend, and I have the Ichimoku Kinko Hayo loaded up also with some Fibonacci. This is on TradingView, and I have my targets up that I'm going to basically trade, and also there is the trade that I took last week on the dollar CAD. Now here's what happened with this one. That trade is now in an $81 fall, right? Let me just bring that up real quick. Wait, let me make sure I got that there. Okay, right? Is nearing the stop loss of about. I think I took it at about 1,000 units or something like that, like 100 lower, something to that effect. So I took some profit with the way how trading technical analysis. I took some profit. Let's go to history. There we go. All right, and I took a profit of. It doesn't say here. Let me move this up some. Count history. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. $35 and $8.95. 35.12, $8.95 on this trade on the Loonie, and I basically am out of that trade technically. But I left the other half open to see what it would do, trading blindly, and I would do the same thing with the pound CAD. For this week, I will trade some of it technically, and the other half I will trade blindly, and we'll see if the signals are basically better when traded blindly or when traded technically. So that's on Forex. And on Fluidime, let's bring that up. That's for this week. Well, the one last week was Hanover Rook, right? Hanover Rook is actually, this one I believe is supposed to go bullish. And right now it isn't matching my setup. And I actually did not take the trade blindly just yet. So I am going to take it today. Matter of fact, I'll take it right now. I'll get in on. This is a non-tradable. Isn't that something? I can't actually take it. I did not know that. So we're just finding that out. So okay. So but what I will do is I will put. I guess what I can do is I can try to do this manually and see how it actually works. I think, what was it, to November? Let's move that out. To November 18th or something like that. I'll put it right before there. So around that time. And what I'll do is I'll look to see how far it actually goes. I'll try to keep an eye on that for you guys, so I'll let you know. All right. And from SeasonX has a trade. This is another Forex trade. And this one is a 90% winner from October 7th to December 7th. Okay, so that's in the future. So that's coming up, and you can see what it looks like. 21 years of data, but this is just for 9 years, and you can see what type of action has been going on in the last basically 9 years, and they give you the whole rundown. The loss for that year was about 470. Interesting. That can't be $4.70, right? Okay. But percentage-wise, -3%. So these are actually very small amounts. Max rise was about 5 on the highest rise was actually 13%. The highest drop was about 3%. So that's very small. All right. So the actual amount that you can make off if you basically take this blindly from here to here is about 4.6% on your account. And that's over the course, it looks like, of about, let's just say, 2 months. So it's a 2-month trade, you get about 4%. So, that's just taking it blindly. I know some of you guys out there are real bangers. But for the ones of us who are probably more like me, who would love to get about 4% over the course of a couple of months, that's pretty generous. So let's see. I think that's about it for this. And with that, I will say knowledge is power, be power hungry, and power to the people. This is Parsival signing out.